Martin Joustra here from FLEXiTRACKS. In this presentation, I'm going to show you the creative potential of FLEXiTRACKS, how we access them from the Universal website, and how simple it is to use them in video editing software. Just in case you haven't seen any of the promotional material, FLEXiTRACKS are full-length pieces of music that we also supply split up into their sections. These sections are then divided into stems of their production elements, giving you a high level of control over the structure and mix of each track. So let's go straight to the Universal website. I'm going to click on Discover, then on Labels, select F for FLEXiTRACKS, and finally click on the logo, which takes us to the FLEXiTRACKS label page. Obviously, a lot of clients look for tracks using search, but we hope that once they've discovered the FLEXiTRACKS concept, they'll browse the many different genres that we have on the label. Apart from the full-length tracks in the 60s and 30s, you actually need to be in search mode to download the FLEXiTRACKS components. But once you've found a suitable album or track on our label page, this is simply a matter of clicking Refine this album in search or See all in search. Then, just click on the Stems button below the track to download a zip file. Double-click on it to reveal the FLEXiTRACK components and copy these into your editing software, and you're ready to go. So let's switch over to Premiere and have a play. It's important to say that FLEXiTRACKS will work in any video editing software, but obviously the workflow, shortcuts and key commands will be particular to individual programs and users. Here I'm using a magnetic snap, with my timeline displaying seconds and milliseconds. Just while you're using FLEXiTRACKS, don't use a snap that limits you to frames, as it's too imprecise for audio. I'm using Alt to duplicate sections, Shift plus E if I want to mute or unmute sections, and I'm moving audio clips using the keyboard's number pad. Finally, just make sure that your audio system is set to 48K or the FLEXiTRACKS sections won't join correctly. Okay, I'm going to start dragging my FLEXiTRACKS sections onto the Premiere timeline. Most of the other video editors we've used allow you to bring in multiple clips with the option to stack them on different tracks. Unfortunately, I haven't found a way to do this in Premiere, so I have to put them on one track and drag them down manually. However, with the magnetic snap, this should only add a few seconds to the importing process. Once we've got the stems for each section in and lined up, we join them together, but we don't just butt them up like this. We overlap them, but not on the same tracks. Otherwise, section 2 will either trim or steal audio from section 1. So we put consecutive sections on alternating groups of tracks, and then we overlap them by exactly 3 seconds. The method you choose to do this will depend on your software and preferences. I normally like to nudge the sections using key commands, but in Premiere, the typing method is also very quick. So I locate the new section to the end of the previous one using the magnetic snap, and then I type -3 decimal point and then press enter. So now I'm just going to fast forward to the point where I have all the sections on alternating tracks, overlapped by 3 seconds, and I've added a little colour to make it a bit easier to see what I'm doing. I've now got all the sections in place, but it would be a bit pointless to leave it like this because I could have just used the full-length track. So I'm going to play it from the beginning and rearrange it as I go along. I'm going to loop sections 3 and 5, repeat section 2 at the end, and play with the mix to avoid repetition on the loops. Normally, I would mute stems that I don't want to hear, but just to make it a bit clearer for this demonstration, I'm actually going to delete them. Here we go. Okay, so that was a fairly random arrangement done on the fly, but it demonstrates how quick and easy it is to rearrange, extend, shorten, loop and remix a FLEXiTRACK. Also, you'll have noticed how seamless the joins are between sections. You can also make use of isolated sections and stems for shorter sequences, and because they have suspended ends, they're very useful for creating flow between scenes, or for moments when you don't want a strong resolve. If you do need a definite end, just use the one supplied with the track, overlap it by 3 seconds, and alter its mix accordingly. Finally, if you're mixing in 5.1, you can add depth to the music by placing the stems from front to rear, but don't be too severe. I think that's about it for the moment, so download some FLEXiTRACK components, have a play around and let us know what you think. In the meantime, thank you for watching.